Blessings and welcome back to my channel. This evening message or spiritual food I would like to share with you. It comes from 2 Timothy 2:15 and it reads, "Study to show thyself approved unto God Yahweh, God Yahweh, a workman that needs not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." There is something we need to know about truth. For it also reads in John 8:32, "And you should know the truth, and the truth should make you free." Now, I often say that truth is in the eye of the beholder. One person may say the sun is yellow. Another may call it gold, and yet another may describe it as orange. Each is holding on to what they perceive as true. What I want to share with you today is the distinction between truth and the truth from a biblical and spiritual perspective. Truth is bound to time. It reflects human experiences, perceptions, and interpretations as they unfold in history. The truth, however, stands both within time, before time, and beyond it, untouched by shifting perspectives. Consider religion. It is true that humanity created countless religious traditions, each convinced of its exclusive access to the ultimate reality. Yet the truth remains, these traditions cannot be all right, though it is entirely possible that all of them may be wrong. That is the truth. Before we begin the journey of breaking this down, I would like to review a couple of definitions of the word truth. From the American Heritage English Dictionary, it defines the word truth as conformity to fact or actuality, reality, actuality, the reality of a situation, a statement proven to be or accepted as truth or true. Such statements considered as a group. Sincerity, integrity, fidelity in an original or standard. Theology and philosophy, that which is considered to be the ultimate ground of reality. Logic, the positive truth value. There are two important definitions here that we should not overlook. The first is a statement proving to be or accepted as true. This is often associated with deductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning follows a logical pattern. If A equals B and B equals C, then A must also equal C. In other words, it uses established facts to reach a reasonable and necessary conclusion. Here the facts are A equals B and B equals C, and the conclusion drawn is A equals C. The second definition here is such statements considered as a group. This refers to the collective work of researchers pursuing truth, such as biblical scholars. In this context, those who are well versed in a particular subject bring their findings together to form a shared conclusion based on the weight of their combined studies. For example, biblical scholars agree that the name of the God of the Bible is Yahweh in Hebrew, commonly pronounced in English and other languages as Yahweh. Notice I'm referring to his name, not the titles used to address him. If I was referring to his title as the Creator or God, then according to authoritative Hebrew and Greek dictionaries, the corresponding term would be Elohim in Hebrew. This distinction is one reason many people believe he has multiple names. They are actually addressing him by various titles across different cultures and languages rather than by his true name. Now, they all can be true according to their culture or tradition, but are they the truth? To deepen our understanding, let us pause and consider the word the. In ordinary language, the precedes a noun to signal specificity, something recognized, distinguished, or already understood by the listener or reader. Yet, when this small but potent word is placed before truth, it assumes a deeper resonance, pointing not merely to a fact among many, but to something singular, definitive, and set apart. In Webster's New World College Dictionary, 4th edition, the word the means referring to a particular person, thing, or group. That one being spoken of or already mentioned. That one which is present, close, and nearby, etc., as distinguished from all others viewed as remote. That one designated or identified as by a title. That one considered outstanding, most fashionable, etc. Now, for many of you, I don't have to go any further to explain to you who the is and why it's important to have the truth instead of just truth. But for those of you that need more confirmation that the refers to God, the Most High, let's continue by examining the word one that is mentioned in the following previous definitions. Isaiah 43:15 reads, I am Yahweh, Yahweh, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. The word one in this scripture is reference number 6918 in the Strong's Hebrew and Greek dictionary, and it's pronounced Kadosh, spelled Qadosh, and it means sacred, God, an angel, a saint, a sanctuary, holy one, saint. Webster's College Dictionary, Webster's New World College Dictionary, 4th edition, defines the word one as being one in particular. The Encyclopedic Psychic Dictionary defines one as to represent the principal thing created, the essence of God. Numerology, life cycle number one represents the basic life principle, unchangeable and unmovable. It is identified with the sun, the source of all energy. Now we see that the is one in particular, the first one in a sequence. That the is the essence of God, the Most High God. That the is the principle of life. From this information, we can see that the truth is talking about Yahweh's truth, not man's truth, but Yahweh's truth. In Proverbs 16:25, it reads, let's turn to Proverbs 16:25. Let's read. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. What is this scripture saying? It's saying that man may deem something to be true, but if it's not the truth, then his truth will lead him to death. So the mystery is, how do we find the truth? In my last class, I identified the key and how we must use the key, or this key, in order to free ourselves from the formed mindset of this world. But I also said that although we have the key or recognize the key or keys, some may still refrain from using the key. In other words, they may seek to enter another way. The Son of Man in his parable names this person as a thief and a robber. Let's turn to John chapter 10, verses 1 through 3. John chapter 10, verses 1, 2, and 3. Let's read. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that enters not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that enters in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. To him the porter opens, and the sheep hear his voice. And he called his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out. The only path to the truth is through the Son, or by the Son. He alone was found worthy to open the book and loose the seals thereof. In John chapter 16, verse 13, the one that walked the earth 2,000 years ago, he said, let's turn to John chapter 16, verse 13, and we'll read it for ourselves. John 16, 13. Read, howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he should hear, that should he speak, and he will show you things to come. Here you see that the Son of Man was prophesizing of one to come after him. Understand that this Spirit of truth he spoke of was a person, a he, as mentioned in Webster's 1828 dictionary defines the word he. It says he is often used without reference to any particular person, and may be referred to any person, definitely, that answers the description. It is then synonymous with any man. I let you ponder on that a little bit, meditate on that. What is the description that we're talking about? Are we talking about a physical description? Or are we talking about a spiritual description? Or are we talking about both? Let's turn to Revelation 1, 13 through 15. That's Revelation 1, 13 through 15. Let's read. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one likened unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to his ground to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes was as a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they was burnt in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. That is the physical description of the Son of Man. Significant? Yes, but not merely as important as the works that must be manifest by the Spirit of truth. A person might find someone who resembles that physical description, but no one will ever replicate the works appointed to the one who was preordained to fulfill them. This Spirit of truth is no other than the Son of Yahweh, Yahweh ben Yahweh. Remember, we broke this down. Yahweh, the Father, Son meaning being in Hebrew, Yahweh. He came in the Father's name. Because he is the only one to resemble the description. I'm going to say this again. He's the only one to resemble the description. And I'm just not talking about physical description here. See, the scripture says he would not speak of his own authority, but would declare only what he hears from the Father, and would reveal things that are yet to come. If you listen to Yahweh messages on YouTube, you would notice that he constantly speaks about the name, the Father's name, making Yahweh's name known, manifesting it, publishing it. Before his arrival, the divine name was rare and scarcely acknowledged. After his coming, its recognition has grown significantly. This increase is a sign of his authenticity as the Son, for it was the Son's appointed purpose to make the Father's name known. That's why we wear this symbol here. This is an ensign to all nations that the Son of Yahweh has come. It's a tetragrammaton, but it's a sign to all nations. It's the ensign. Let's turn to John chapter 17, verse 6. That's John 17, 6. And we'll read what the Son says. John 17, 6. Let's read. I have manifest thy name unto the men which thou gavest me out of the world. Then they were, and thou gavest them me, and they have kept thy word. Here you see the Son say, I have manifest thy name. This is what I was called to do. Now, as a testimony, I count myself among those whom Yahweh, Yahweh, has given to him out of the world, one whom strives to keep his word. And no, I didn't drink the Kool-Aid because I sensed that it was tainted. My desire was not to inherit someone else's beliefs, but to purify my own mind. What I'm sharing with you is not religion, nor am I trying to proselytize you or turn you away from what you sincerely believe in. My purpose is to clarify the difference between truth on one hand, and the truth on the other hand. Recognizing this distinction can guide your studies, prompting you to reflect on what you have been taught and what you may still need to learn in order to deepen and strengthen your own spiritual practice. But if you are someone who follows the Holy Scriptures, the Bible, then you should seriously reflect on what I have shared here. For it truly represents the difference between life and death, or death and life. Remember, we started this class tonight with 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to shew thyself approved unto God Yahweh, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, but rightly dividing the word of truth. Don't you be ashamed about following the truth. You've been captivated by a form of truth for far too long. Because again, John 8:32 says, and you should know the truth, and the truth should make you free. If you would like to learn more about the truth, visit the NOYstore.com. That's www.noystore.com. There you will have spiritual material that you can purchase to gain spiritual growth. Thank you for joining me for this lesson. I pray that it nourishes your spiritual growth. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, peace and prosperity. God bless.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. For books and other spiritual materials, visit www.nostore.com. See you next time.